All right, so I'm a millennial with boomer tech skills. So this is how I'm doing the picture in picture. But I wanted to show y'all this real quick before I gave my response. And by the way, found it on Facebook of all places, and this is a post from Ebony. Now, as you can see, that was a post about AI and how it is seemingly displacing black writers, black authors. Um, and yeah, so I just want to share my thoughts on it. If you look further deeper into the post, read deeper into the post again on Ebony. Um, it mentions things about publishers not being able to, not necessarily trusting black authors um, that are going to them saying, "Hey, I wrote this book, I have this manuscript," and they're not accepting these offers from these black authors because, well, they're accusing them of using AI to create such work. I don't know. I didn't read too deep into it. I don't know if there's evidence behind that saying, oh, there's been a surge of people using AI and specific publishers, and now they're just cracking down and being suspicious and tagging everybody as AI, or they're just tagging the black authors. But even prior to things like this, the reason why I got into independently publishing my book and I decided to be an independent author is because to avoid gatekeeping. This is a form of gatekeeping at the end of the day. I understand AI and protecting not only just your reputation as a publisher, and not wanting to publish books that was made by AI. I understand that, and integrity and all the other stuff. But if what this Ebony article is stating is true, and a majority or a lot of black authors, it seems, are the ones being punished and being accused of creating their books with AI and therefore not getting deals or being turned down or probably getting offers that are getting less money or whatever the case is, getting lowballed in general. If this is happening because of the whole AI scare, once again, to me, it's still a form of gatekeeping. It's all other things as well that I can get into, but I'm recording this on TikTok for those who don't know. This is going on TikTok first before it goes anywhere else, and I only have about 10 minutes to do this. But to avoid all this gatekeeping and scrutiny and all this other BS that I personally would be pissed off if I was any of these authors and I went to my publisher and said, or a publisher in general, and said, hey, here's my next title. And they said, no, we're not going to publish it because we think it was written by AI. And it would especially piss me off if if I've worked with that publisher before and they know my work. So they know my voice, they know that I create my own work, right? And then because again the scare of AI, maybe because people have been going to said publisher and trying to get over on them by sending them AI manuscripts and things, I would still be pissed off, right? But you avoid this stuff when, again, or at least you kind of avoid this stuff, I'm gonna just say, when you don't go through a publisher. I never was one, even prior to the whole AI thing was a thing, I never was big on the whole gatekeeping thing. I understood that my stories, my voice, it's not for everybody. And I never wanted to ever be in a position to where my stories, what I want to talk about, what I want to say, would never be published, would never be put out there because a publisher is afraid of publishing something that I write, so being associated with me in general. And therefore, that is why I went into being an independent author, right? To remove all that barrier, essentially the gatekeeping, right? No one can tell me no, essentially, as far as we don't like this, so we're not going to have this, we're not going to publish this. Now, of course, there are situations where if you want to published through avenues, they have a right to say, okay, we don't take stories of this kind, or this material, but it's never happened to me. So with that being said, I know it can happen, but I also understand other avenues of, if that were to happen to me, even as an independent author. I know other ways of still getting my stories out there. But this situation at hand, to me, it sucks. It sucks. I feel for the authors, black or not. Like, I feel for the authors who had their stuff turned down and accused of being AI. I had my work one time be accused as being artificially intelligent, AI. But this wasn't a story. This wasn't like a book. This was a blog post that this was years ago, when I was trying to move from one blog platform to another, and I heard about this other platform, and I'm saying to myself, okay, let me go check it out. So I go to that platform, I publish one article, and then it was taken down literally the next day. And it was taken down because their stupid AI whatever catching machine thing accused me of being AI. And then when they had a human, I fought the report, or I fought the accusation, and was like, this is not AI, because I literally handwrite everything that I write. I handwrite it before I type it up. That is my proof, and that's a bit of advice I'll get to in a few. But I literally handwrite everything that I write before it is actually published online. So I show them proof of my work, that it was handwritten before I typed it up. Here's everything and all that stuff. And then once a human looked at it, they instantly could tell that it was written by a human. Needless to say, I still said to hell with that platform, but these things can happen, unfortunately. Now on to the aspect of, how do you prove your work? My bit of advice, as I noted moments ago, not everyone is going to like this, but how do I prove that I actually created the work that I create? I handwrite everything. Now, I enjoy handwriting, so it doesn't feel like a chore to me. It's a lot. I'm not going to say it isn't a lot. I have a bunch of notebooks that have my work and everything and all my ideas in it, before again I type it up and it goes into an actual book, of course, right, or script. But that's just how I like to do things. You don't have to do it that way. Other ways in which you can prove that your work is always keep a copy of the original work, even if you've edited to high hell, like I do and others do as well. You always keep an original copy, or copies, multiple copies of what you worked on before the final product, as proof of, hey, these are actually my words. This is my work, and these are the unedited versions of it. Unfortunately, there are some other ways in which authors can prove that they indeed created the work that they're trying to put out there. If you have some advice for me and just anybody else out there in need of advice on how we can improve our work and avoid situations like this, please leave that in the comments below, because I would love to know how other authors and just writers in general are handling a situation like this. But once again, my heart goes out to all the authors dealing with BS, because of this whole AI era. But do not give up. This is just, another challenge that we can and we will get past. So, yeah, y'all keep doing y'all thing out there.